Jake Asman Show will begin shortly. Thanks to all these great Patreon members who help support the show. Get your super chats ready. Jake will be here in just a moment. If you love the New York Jets, this is the place to be. And now, the Jake Asman Show.
What moves could the New York Jets make next? Well, they've been connected to a former Pro Bowl safety. Will the Jets sign Justin Simmons? We're going to talk about that and much more. It's the Jake Asman Show. So let's hit it and get it started.
Man, our Jets are primed for a historic season. We bleed Jets green each and every day. This is not the same old Jets. We have Aaron freaking Rodgers. We have Garrett Wilson. Let's go. We have Breece Hall. Please subscribe and hit the like button below. Super chat, baby. Cut the line. We have Sauce Gardner. We have Quinnen Williams. The Jets bandwagon is loaded. Now it's time to talk all things New York Jets. It's the Jake Asman Show.
Here we go, Jets fans. Welcome in, everybody. Thanks for spending part of your Thursday with me here on the channel. Boy Green, Jets content creator extraordinaire, is going to join me to talk about the state of the Jets and react to some comments made by Rich Cimini of ESPN about the Jets potentially pursuing Justin Simmons. Before we do that, reminder, today's show presented by my friends at Huga House. Get the hat Aaron Rodgers wears all the time by heading over to hugahouse.com and use my promo code ASMAN at checkout. You buy one hat, you get 15% off. You buy a second hat and you get it 30% off. These hats are awesome, different designs, different colors. They restock the black one you see on the screen. They will run out fast. So if you want one, get to Huga House ASAP and use that promo code ASMAN to get 15% off. Or once again, buy one hat at 15% off. Get the second hat 30% off at hugahouse.com. Promo code ASMAN. Joining me right now to talk all things New York Jets is one of the best in the game. Ladies and gentlemen, Paul Boy Green Esden Jr. What's up, Paul?
Hey, what's poppin', baby? And I will tell you, maybe that's not the last time we see Asman and Aaron Rodgers on the screen together on the Jake Asman Show. Maybe that's a big next sexy Moby Dick guest that you get on the show. Maybe.
Do you know something that I don't know? Is Aaron coming on and I'm unaware?
Hey, I don't know. Sometimes, like you were going to have Woody on and then it didn't happen. Now you didn't even know about Aaron Rodgers and I throw it at you. I don't know. I'm throwing things out into the universe and let you see what happens, baby.
Yeah, I'm still waiting on Woody to come on after he said he would,
Yeah.
I'll tell you what.
That's not right.
Just win games and I'll get over it. How about that?
Okay, there you go. Fair enough.
Make the playoffs for the first time since Obama's first term in office.
Good compromise.
Wouldn't that be nice? Before we talk about Justin Simmons and I play you some comments from Rich Cimini's podcast talking about it, Boy Green, this is the first time I've had you on since the Jets' full 2024 draft class is now in the books. Big picture, your thoughts on what the Jets did during the 3-day event in Detroit?
Yeah, I thought it was strange that they only went one offensive lineman and one wide receiver in a class that apparently was incredibly deep. And they said a lot of the analysts that both of us spoke to on our channel said, wow, this is the perfect draft for the Jets. The stars and moons have aligned with exactly what they need. So I thought it was bizarre, quite frankly, to only dip their toe once in the waters twice. They had multiple opportunities to do so. That was a bit strange. But on the actual picks they made, they check off a lot of the boxes. They give you that premium insurance. Joe Douglas was joining on top of all the wonderful things Jake Asman does. He's also frequently on ESPN 98.7, and your boy Joe Douglas is on there, and he said that, to me, irrefutable argument that what is the worst thing that could completely derail this season? Is it, and now I'm paraphrasing, I didn't exactly say this, but is it Jeremy Rucker getting a couple extra snaps if Conklin goes down, or Carter Warren, Max Mitchell having to protect the blind side of Aaron Rodgers? And as soon as you say that, the picture becomes pretty clear. So to be honest, I loved the first bunch of picks. Braylon Allen's a perfect complement to Breece. Malachi Corley's a freak who's going to be trucking people left and right. And Fashanu is either going to be both top 10 left or your next decade of left tackle plus the primo insurance for Tyron, who hasn't started a full season since 2015. So we should be seeing him no matter what. So I love the draft. And then the draft throws at the end are intriguing. intriguing. Quantez Stiggers maybe replaces DJ Reed or Brandon Echols next year as he goes up the pecking order. It can only help to be in a room with guys like Sass, DJ Reed, Michael Carter II, the offensive stack room. It can only help Olu to be in a room with Tyron and Morgan Moses. And freaking Jordan Travis, he's in a room with Aaron friggin' Rodgers and Tyron Taylor. So everyone's in these rooms that benefit them, and there's a development process here, which I love.
Hit the like button if you're tuning in live right now. If you have a question or a comment for Boy Green and myself to react to, we will bring those up on the screen ASAP. As far as grades go, it's always tough to grade a draft class because obviously you haven't seen these players play. I like to kind of just look at the logic behind each pick. And if I'm just like grading the logic, I'd give the Jets a B or a B plus. Paul, I think that's fair. It wasn't the sexiest draft by any means, but it was a smart draft. I think picking up extra assets was a really good job by Joe Douglas. I think the most underrated move they made over the weekend was the fact they got a third-round pick in next year's draft. They now could dangle at the trade deadline this year, or if anything, just have extra capital a year from now, which is important. So I overall like what they did. It's not 2022 where you had 4 picks in the top 40, but to me, it was a solid draft class when you consider what the Jets' needs were, what the options were when they were picking, and obviously the fact they didn't have a second-round pick, which is not their fault. You would make the Aaron Rodgers deal, as Joe Douglas said, 10 out of 10 times.
Yeah, and we went to the same professorship because I'm swimming in the same bee waters that you are, and I love that trade because that Lions trade where you get the extra third next year, you had 3/4. Why not slap a grenade on one of them and then kick the can down the road and improve a full round? You can use that at the trade deadline. You can use that if we wait all the way till next year and combine your 2/3 to move back up into the second. The possibilities are endless, quite frankly. Or you end up trading for Devontae Adams for a couple of thirds at the trade deadline, baby. So no matter what happens, okay, the New York Jets are in a prime position. So most of the trades I loved. 10 to 11, it's genius. And Flight 24 covered it of Joe Douglas saying we got something for nothing. The only one I didn't understand was the random Eagles give up or Packers give up that was where they just blew up their early fourth. That one didn't seem to make any sense, but eventually they flip one of the fours for a 3. So I guess it all works out if you look at the grand scheme of the trades. But wonderful work.
Wonderful work indeed. If you're tuned in live right now, please hit that like button. I want to shout out the Patreon audience. I'm just 3 Patreon subscribers away from the big 400 number. If you want bonus content, if you want Discord access, your name in the intro and all the other perks we offer, check out patreon.com/Jake Asman Show. Big shout out to John Moan, Harrison Bornstein, and Famola Bella, our 3 most recent Patreon subscribers. All right, Boy Green, I have a clip I want to play from Rich Cimini's Flight Deck podcast. And Jet fans, I had Rich on my show yesterday for about an hour, and we talked about a bunch of topics. And Rich did allude to this potential topic, but he went more in depth on his podcast. So a fan asked Rich about the Jets potentially pursuing free agent safety Justin Simmons. And my initial reaction was, man, no way would the Jets shop in those type of waters. They don't value safety. But Rich had an interesting answer. It sounds like he spoke with someone very close to Justin Simmons. I'm going to play the clip, and then we will react on the other side.
Rich, do you think with the money we saved from the recent trade of JFM that we could possibly squeeze a safety such as Justin Simmons into the budget? I think safety is now the weak link on the team. I would say the starters right now are Tony Adams and Chuck Clark. I don't know if that's an ideal situation. I think Adams is okay. Chuck Clark, more of a box safety, not a ball hawk by any means. Justin Simmons was a fantastic safety for Denver. My understanding, he's looking for good money. He's being picky, and he wants to play for a winning team. He wants to go to the postseason. In all his years in Denver, he did not go to the postseason once. That is a huge priority for him. Jets, of course, they haven't been to the postseason either, but I think they're hoping that they break through this year with Aaron Rodgers back. So would it shock me if the Jets go after Simmons? A little bit, in the sense that it's not a high-value position in this particular scheme with Robert Saleh and the way they run things. It's also, as Douglas alluded to the other day on a radio interview, they don't have much left in their budget. And by budget, I think he means cash budget. They have lowered their budget this year. They haven't spent as much. And your Simmons, you're talking about a guy who's probably looking for $8 to $10 million guaranteed. And I don't know if the Jets would do it. I would do it. It's not my money, so I can say it. But you put a Justin Simmons in the middle of the Jets' defensive backfield with everything they have in the front seven and with Gardner and Reed on the corners, you are talking about an elite defense if they can get Justin Simmons. To me, that would be the missing piece. And they could probably get by with what they have, but man, I would use whatever financial resources I can to go get a Justin Simmons, and we'll find out. That'll be a very interesting name to keep an eye on as we move forward.
A very interesting name to keep an eye on. It sounds like Rich spoke with someone in the Simmons camp when it came to the money he was potentially looking for. But I think the little nugget there that's Jet relevant, a team that gives him a legitimate chance to play in the postseason, and that's the Jets, and they do have the need at safety. It's not a glaring need, but we're talking about Tony Adams, who's unproven, and Chuck Clark coming off injury, Boy Green. Your thoughts on Rich's comments there? Do you see the path for the Jets to potentially sign Justin Simmons?
Yeah, I'm not surprised by the money he would be looking for. That totally makes a lot of sense. Has the most interceptions since coming into the league in 2016. Like, he is an absolute ball hawk. The only thing I would push back, I don't know if Rich meant to say it like this, but Justin Simmons would make the Jets an elite defense. I think they're an elite defense anyway, and this could be the ultimate cherry on top, and this all-in season is compelling. I think what has to happen here is a weird sense of patience. Now, Justin Simmons wants that crazy money right now as we're doing this show live on May 2nd. But if you wait a month and it's June and the money is only getting tighter, relatively speaking, outside of some teams like the Bills, that's the one to watch out for, is that like a team like the Bills, after June 1st, they're going to get their Tre'Davious White money. So all of a sudden they could have a surge of money available and unique players available, and maybe they could woo Justin Simmons to Buffalo. So I guess there's some level of a time where new teams are going to enter the mix from a bidding perspective of money. But if the Jets are patient over the next couple of weeks and then make that aggressive pitch at the right time saying, hey, Justin, you've been hanging out there for a couple of months. Why not come on the team? Let's make a chase. Let's go. I think that's what they have to wait for the money to inevitably get lower, because the further we get from the draft, the cheaper that money is going to be overall. But that's the scary team in the bushes, I would say, is Buffalo post June 1, because they're going to get that Tre'Davious White money coming back. But I'd love it. I think you said it right. They can get by, just like tight end. They can get by with what they have at tight end. At safety, they can get by with what they have. But in this all-in season, are you comfortable with being complacent at some of these key positions and not willing to just go, you know what? You don't want to, in a year, Joe Douglas gets fired. He says, I could have made one more move. If you could make one more move, why wouldn't you make one more move to improve your chances at a title?
If you could get him, who's going to say, oh, don't do it? Like, we're still talking about one of the best players in the league. To me, It comes down to what the money is. And if they're truly trying to limit their cash spending, maybe they want to save up for a bigger move at the trade deadline. To me, it comes down to, can you finagle another contract or two, right? Like, can you get another restructure done with someone like a Quentin Williams? They haven't done it yet. Quincy Williams, they haven't done it yet. Like, if they need more money, there's ways to do it. I just don't know if they value safety, as Rich talked about. Like, that has never really been the Robert style of thing. That being said, if not Simmons, I mean, there's some other safeties out there that could make some sense who would be cheaper. Like Quandre Diggs, I think, is another name to watch too in that regard.
Sure, yeah, and that's why I think there are plenty of options out there at the safety position. If you don't want to shoot for the highest part of the market and you just want to bring in an established veteran, there's a lot of names that stand out, from Quandre Diggs. The Jamal Adams thing ain't happening, but there's plenty of other safeties out there. Whether it's scheme specific, they could be looking at some of those other waters with other of those Seattle guys beyond Jamal and even Quandre Diggs, and go even deeper there. So I hope but that's what the Jets are going to do, because Joe Douglas said that during his ESPN radio stint in New York, is that we are having those meetings right now to evaluate everyone that's available on the free agent market and what places we can incrementally, or more than that, improve the team. So Justin Simmons would be the swing. Marcus May is another one. I just saw that in there. We're going to be talking about that on my 3:00 live show. So Marcus May is one that I would love a reunion there. It'd probably be dirt cheap. You bring him back. You tell him, hey, there's no guaranteed starting job, but it's Tony Adams, and then there's Ashton. Chuck Clark is coming off an injury. Maybe you got a chance to sprint and make it for cheap money. Marcus May be another one I'd really like.
By the way, just hearing the fact that safety's the weak link kind of shows you how great this roster is, because a non-premium position being your weakest link on defense. For most of our lives, the Jets' weakest link was quarterback, wide receiver, every premium position. And now it's like, wait a second. The weakest link might be a non-premium position on defense where you already have an all-pro corner helping out the safety room and another Pro Bowl level corner helping out the safety room and another Pro Bowl nickel corner helping out that safety room. Pretty good time to be a Jet fan from a talent perspective.
First world problem, and I will just use this platform to scream it from the rooftops. Please, New York Jets, give the bag to Michael Carter II this offseason. This is the time. And I know it's going to cost you more, and that's maybe why they won't do it, because they're going pure all in. But with everything that is set to come, with all of the free agents next year, with Tyron and Morgan and all the guys that can get paid, from Sauce, Garrett, Breeze, Jermaine, all those guys, it's going to be a lot of that money. Okay, Trump, we're going to get a lot of that, or Schwarzenegger, whoever's doing that now, but a lot of moolah, a lot of money coming through. But I would give the bag to Michael Carter II, lock in the one of the best nickel corners in football before the money's only going to continue to increase. We've seen a couple of them, Terron Johnson in Buffalo, Kenny Moore in Indy. Like, I want them to pay that man and keep him here for the long term. I think they're going to have to pick between him and DJ Reed.
If you're tuned in live right now, if you're not an Asmaniac, hit the join button and become an Asmaniac. We're 30 channel members away from a brand new Asmaniac emoji. Comments, questions, super chats. We'll cut the line. We're chopping it up with Boy Green, who's the master of the early morning stream. You really have carved out a nice little niche for yourself with that 7:30 a.m. Eastern start time. I know the fans appreciate it. VR writes, love that Boy Green created that 7:30 a.m. niche in the mornings. Awesome stuff.
Yeah, and I'm going to be honest, I heard it on one of your shows the other day that you were talking about basically what the T.O. Uncle VR just said, that it has been this weird niche kind of thing where I've been able to pitch it to people and they were kind of interested. They said it's not really a space people are talking about, and getting up early every single day to make sure you do it, be the, kind of the first whack at the pinata. We got a lot of people, you, Matt, Ryan, all these people at nighttime and everything else. It's cool that people can have 24/7 Jets coverage. So it's been a lot of fun, man.
It truly is amazing that a team that has not made the playoffs since, once again, Barack Obama was in his first term in office could have such a rabid fan base where you could legitimately discuss this football team year round. And many of us do this as our full-time jobs. It's incredible.
It's spectacular, and it's cool for the fans that there's this level of passion, there's this level of content, this level of commitment, quite frankly. So for the Jet fans out there that get all their normal stuff of they tune into ESPN and hear the Jets, NFL Network, whatever, they could get their own custom content for the fans, by the fans, all together. It's a unique experience, and I love it. Obviously, it's made both of us, I was going to say incredibly rich on the Jake Asman yacht, but maybe not quite there. But we're doing pretty not too shabby, I think. Yeah, not too shabby indeed. Make sure if you're watching my show, you're subscribed to Boy Green's channel on YouTube as well. All right, comments, questions, send in your super chats. Not only do they cut the line, but they help pay the bills, baby, as Boy Green would say. Let's take some calls now. Gusbuster Umbrella Hotline.
If you go to gusbuster.com, you could purchase the best umbrella in the universe, and you could use the promo code Jake, so you'll get 15% off on any of your umbrellas.
A lot of people want in on the conversation. I wanted to read this comment from Johnny, who writes in, Jake, the Boy Green morning is our coffee and singing time. Ah, that is right. And speaking of singing time, here we go, baby.
Well, I love the Yankees and the Jets, and to read the super chats are more than just a hat.
Bobby Midnight.
Hi, Paul. How you doing? Hey,
Bobby,
Jake,
how you doing,
how you
pal?
doing? Hey,
What's
Jake,
up, Bobby?
do you need help reading super chats this morning?
If I get any super chats, no one has submitted one, but if I get a super chat, Bobby, you can read it, all right?
Yeah, you sound horrible this morning. I'm sorry.
Thank you.
Well, I just don't want you to lose your voice. Don't you have to go to City Field today?
Yeah, that's why we're starting early. I have a ESPN New York event I'm attending.
Yeah, with those two guys, your friends, right?
Dave Rothenberg and Rick DiPietro. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, nice flex there, Jake.
Did he
Yeah,
play
got like an
hockey?
ESPN event. That's nice.
He
Well,
played hockey.
yeah.
Dan Pietro.
he played for the Islanders. He was the first pick in the
Yeah,
draft.
right. That's what I remember. And then Boom was Esiason's son-in-law place for him too, right?
Oh, yeah. Matt Martin.
Yeah, Matt Marling. Yeah, he got married to the daughter. I think they have a kid now.
They do.
So yeah, is that guy the guy on never played for the Jets before? Simmons.
Justin Simmons has never played for the Jets.
Oh,
No,
I think
he's
you
only
said
played
he
for the
might
Broncos,
be
I'm pretty sure. Yeah.
coming back. Oh, I think you said he's coming back. Maybe I
Oh, Marcus
misunderstood.
May is who I was talking about. Yeah, he played for the
Oh,
Jets.
Marcus May. I heard of
Yeah.
him. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think the Jets did good on this B plus. B. I said B. Yeah.
Is that your final answer, Bobby?
Yeah.
Bobby with a B?
Yeah.
Okay.
B.
Yeah.
How you like my intro? Gator did that for me, right?
That's
Jake?
the first time I've ever heard that, so that's quite the production work. I don't know how.
Yeah,
I was about to say I don't know how. Jake Asman has 37,000 subscribers. I know how he pays the bills to have this wonderful production team. It's spectacular.
Gator is awesome, and also Rat Diddy. We have to give props to, right, Jake?
Oh yeah, we love Rat Diddy. He loves you, Bobby.
Yeah, I like him too. He's funny. He's a good guy. So you don't have a thing tonight, later today, do you?
I do, but I don't know what time, Bobby.
Are you going to the Knicks game? Oh no, that's a Philadelphia team.
Yeah.
Oh wow! I see a YouTube super chat just popped in there. Wow.
Hold on a second, Bobby. I need you to read this.
Okay, no problem. Johnny Jimenez. Mother, my biscuit's good. Say it's sexy voice, Bobby. How's that sound good?
Oh, that was tremendous.
Yeah, Johnny is hilarious. Me and him are always on to everything. Last night I went to Nick's channel yesterday. I spent a half an hour talking to him, me and him.
Nick Shine?
Nice. Yeah, Nick Shine.
Yeah, we like Nick.
He's trying to get Daniel to a football game this year. We gotta meet up and to see a football game, all of us.
Oh yeah.
I bring Michael. My brother says hi again, as usual.
Hey Bobby, Gator wants you to read that super chat from Johnny with more passion.
Okay, no problem. Johnny Jimenez. Mother, my biscuit's good. Say it's sexy voice, Baba. How's that? Do you have
Bobby,
another one?
Bobby,
another one?
You crushed it. Stay on hold, and if I get another super chat, I'll bring you back on. All right?
Yeah, no problem. I'll stay on hold for you.
All right, you got it.
Well, you know I love the Yankees and the Jets, and to read the super chats are more than just a hat. Bobby.
Tremendous. It's about time Bobby had an intro.
Wow, that's spectacular. That's my first time seeing it. That's great. Wow.
Pittsburgh Mike says, morning commute, Jake Asman show. Gotta love it. Shout out to you, Pittsburgh Mike. Mr. Rec writes in, Jake heading to a big time job interview right now. Listening to you and Paul talk about the Jets is definitely calming the nerves. Keep up the good work. Mr. Rec, get that job, baby. Good luck.
Good luck. Yes.
Todd wants to know, when does the schedule come out? Rich said May 9th on my show yesterday. I've heard that, but I don't think the NFL has officially announced that yet. Thursday, May 9th, I think, is the tentative date.
Yeah, I heard on Rich Eisen's show, it didn't get a lot of traction, but he said that NFL people told him to clear his calendar on May 9th. I'm like, I think that's the reason. So, yeah, it's not official yet. The draft, at the back end of the draft, they're promoting the hell out of coming up in May. I think the one to pencil in is a week from today. I think we get it on Thursday, May 9th, from what I'm hearing.
Well said. All right, let's bring Bobby back up. We got a couple of super chats for him to read. Paul, this first one is from Genergy. Take it away, Bobby.
I wish it was today.
Me too.
Yeah.
Energy. Oh, I remember her. Coffee Talk with Bobby and Jake.
Hell yeah.
Well, Nick wants Bobby and Bonesy in another talk show called Bonesy with Bobby.
That's right. FPP's got a super chat for you, Bobby.
Oh, I like FPP. He's a nice guy. The great debate from yesterday: if the Jets go 8-9, do you keep JD?
Good stuff, Bobby.
No, you do not keep JD. If you go 8-9, absolutely not. You've missed the playoffs for the cajillionth year in a row, and everyone's getting fired. Hell no. Where it gets frisky is if they make the playoffs and lose in some crazy game, or they make the playoffs and something crazy happens, like beyond that they win a game maybe, but they don't I don't know. That's where it would be. It doesn't get complicated for me at 8-9. Heads are rolling. The guillotine is getting sharpened. That's what's happening.
100%. Like, to me, the only scenario where like Douglas stays and Salah goes is if like they win the AFC East hypothetically and they flame out in the wild card round and it's clear there's a coaching issue and it's like to take the next step forward, they got to change the coach. Like, but like other than that very unique scenario, 8-9, everyone's got to go. That's insane. They went 7-10 with Zach Wilson the last 2 years. They better be better than 8-9.
Yeah, especially with Rodgers. Like, I don't understand, to be honest, and maybe this is just arrogant, but there is not a world that exists where the Jets go 8-9 with Aaron Rodgers, this defense all the time, unless tragic injuries berated this team or inept coaching to that level. It just seems insane. Absolutely insane.
Yeah, I can't even. I don't want to live in a world where 8-9 happens. Like, there's no way.
No.
Like, win 10 games or else. And like, honestly, to me, it's win the division. Like, however many wins it takes to win the AFC, that's the regular season goal.
100%. And I believe the Jets have their best chance. They haven't done it since 2002. That was 22 years ago. There are people that were born and just started drinking last year for the first time that have not seen the Jets win in AFC East. So they've got a tremendous chance. And look at the rest of the division. I mean, let's just be blunt. Look at what's happened. The path is 1,000% there for the Jets to win the division. And it's going to be somewhere in that 10, 11, 12 win range.
We bring Bobby back on. We got 2 new super chats for him to read. Bobby, appreciate you coming back on. This one is first from VR.
I like you guys. Okay. Tito Uncle VR. Is that the guy who likes the Yankees like me? Bobby, please rap. Yeah, the Knicks. Go New York. Go New York. Bing bong. Love you, Bobby, my New York brother.
Wow.
Yeah.
I love to rap, you know. Oh yeah, whatchamacallit on you know the Morning Brew, the guy Phil who does the basketball.
Oh yeah.
Red beard. He had the guy from Sky Moon. I think he does the blue and orange song. It's a rap song.
Hey Bobby. Bobby, just say go New York, go New York, go.
Go New York, go New York, go New York.
Yeah.
I look like a Muppet. Nice. Don't I look like a Muppet?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
I know. I think you gotta get a Muppet of me.
Here's
Johnny,
another super chat.
My friend. Do you want this jam with your toast?
Thanks, Bobby. Great job. Tremendous.
Oh my God. Spectacular.
BG, I know you got to run, so we'll take one last call, and then we'll get you on your way. As you're the morning owl, you get all your work in early, and then boom, you come back. Actually, you know what? Forget the last call. I need Bobby back for this. Gator McCluskey super chat of champions here. Bobby, take it away.
Yep, I will. Gator McCluskey, my favorite guy too. East is east, and west is west. And if you take cranberries and stew them like applesauce, they taste much more like prunes than rhubarb does. Bobby. Hey, rhubarb, I can't. My grandmother used to love that stuff. We used to have rhubarb at my parents' house.
Hey, Bobby, can you do that sign off one more time? What is the final 2 words on the screen?
Bobby. Well, you know I love the Yankees and the Jets, and to read the super chats are more than just a hat. Bobby.
Absolutely tremendous. The best. BG, I appreciate you joining me, man. Thanks for doing me a solid and joining me in the coveted 8 a.m. hour that you're frequently on.
Yes, no problem, Jake. Again, keep the crazy subscriber count going. I don't know. Let me ask you this on the way out. What's your goal? Is there a number, or are you just an ever-evolving number? You keep setting a goal, pass it, and going further. Like 37,000 subscribers. I mean.
Yeah, honestly, I've been asked this a couple of times. I don't really have a goal. I know YouTube gives a plaque when you hit 100K. So like,
Oh,
I'd love
okay.
to hit 100K, but like it's taken 3 years to get 37. So I don't know how long it's going to take to get 100K and get that plaque. So I'm not expecting it anytime soon. But I just want to keep growing, man. I can't imagine what it will be like to talk about the team every day if they're actually good, like we think they're going to be. You know, none of us have been able to do that. I don't think any Jet YouTuber was making videos in 2010 when they last made the playoffs. So it's like foreign territory for all of us.
And it's crazy to think. So, like, to your point, that you've grown this tremendous following over a 3-year period. And you think about all the people like Revis and Klecko and all these Namath and all these awesome people that you've had on the show. And you haven't even gotten a chance to talk football X's and O's. It's just all speculative and everything else that we've been doing over this time frame because we've had nothing else or hype of an offseason like last year. And now that there's a chance. So we're playoffs. There's no Jake Asman show playoffs yet. Playoffs. I mean, let's be, you know what I mean? So, yeah, it's an exciting time, and it's so cool that we've been able all to do this as a family. And man, with the playoffs and the Super Bowl, the scintillation, oh baby, it's spectacular, buddy. Thanks for the invite. Anytime, man.
Ladies and gentlemen, the great Paul Boy Green Esden Jr. signing out, joining us on the show this morning. Make sure you guys subscribe to Paul's YouTube channel. Follow him on Twitter at BoyGreen25. He does a great job covering all things New York Jets. Who's going to become an Asmaniac? Hit the join button on the left-hand side and sign up, or like the video anyway, so you got a chance for someone to maybe see the good in their hearts today and gift you a membership. We hit over 1,000 Asmaniacs just the other day, but most of those are just monthly members because you were gifted a membership. So if you want to actually become a full-time Asmaniac, get all the custom emojis, get that badge that updates every month with a new one for how long you've been an Asmaniac next to your name, check that out. All right, comments, questions, super chats. We'll cut the line back to the Gusbuster hotline. We go. NY Jets Florida is up next. What's up, NY?
Hey, Jay, good morning. Is Avital on the line? I'd like to debate him today. He called me out on another show.
Alan is not on the line, but I think he was hovering around the comment section before. I saw him in the chat.
Alan, call in. I want to talk to you about JD. Can you put me on hold, Jake?
I'll put you on hold. I don't know if Alan's going to call in, though.
Okay. Can I take that chance for a few minutes? Because I have empirical data that I can give to Alan to show that maybe JD may not be such a bad GM at this point. Still early in the game.
All right. Get your popcorn ready. Alan being called out. Death taxes and the chat disliking Alan. Nothing like it. Peter checks in. Nice to catch you fellas after work on this fine Thursday night. After work here. Planning to come from Mongolia for a game in December. We'd love to meet you guys at Jet Life. Peter, I'd love to meet you as well. I hope that the game you go to in December this year is better than the last game you went to in December 2 years ago. The infamous Jets, Jaguars, Thursday Night Football, also known as the end of Zach Wilson.
He stinks.
But it actually wasn't, because this general manager doubled down and made us go through hell once again. RB Gamer writes in with a super chat. He's been an Asmaniac for a full month, baby. Look at that check next to his name. Hey, Jake, me and some guys were watching Brady Latham highlights with Green Bay. This dude's a monster, and he always looks for work. Check him out. All right. Noted. I will look into that. A lot of people talking about the Asmaniac beef is brewing. Yeah, we've had some battles lately, man. We had Bonesy versus Gary. Yesterday we had Luppy versus Alan. I mean, it's been pretty crazy. Alan says he'll call in 5 minutes. All right. We await Alan. While we wait for Alan, let's get a political commentator update from V-Man.
We now go live to our political expert, Vincent.
You engage and support a party that doesn't do jack shit. You want to see a real third party in action?
Helping us change the world. Thank you, V-Man.
Thank you to V-Man. Everyone hit the like button. Appreciate everyone for their support this morning. Super chats will continue to cut the line. Let's go back to the Gusbuster hotline right now, and we bring on Southern Jet. Hello, Rich.
Oh, good morning. That was quick. I didn't think I'd be on. I'll get to the main question, but the first comment was I'm still laughing at the ridiculous Gary yesterday, or whatever, with his, you know, besmirching you talking about the draft, and you're sitting there saying, "Hey, this is the draft is over. Camp's not for a while. I gotta freaking pay the bills. This is what we're going to talk about." I mean, I don't understand. What did he want you to talk about? Avocado recipes or, something.
Yeah, I mean, like he's like, oh well, you can't really judge a draft for 3 years. I'm like, I'm aware. Unfortunately, I can't wait 3 years to evaluate what they just did. We have to talk about it in real time.
Your show would be 2 minutes long, but my question is, say, for the sake of fairy tales, we have three choices. Simmons, three choices of where we can use the money. Simmons, a free agent wide receiver, or waiting for a deadline trade where we have a hole and we're still in the playoff race.
I rather add a free agent wide receiver now. I'm out. I don't want to worry about the deadline because I also think I know obviously I got to pick one in your scenario, but it's easier to acquire guys at the deadline because there's less money that you're worried about at that point, less you got to pay off.
And would it be Boyd?
I would sign Boyd if they could get him. I mean,
is that your first pick in the free agent right now?
Yeah, I think he's the best receiver left. He's a true slot guy.
I don't understand why people besmirch him because he was a WR2 until Chase, came in and he was, pretty relevant and, was catching a lot of balls. So, it's not his fault that they drafted Chase. I mean, he's a damn good receiver. I think he fits the X profile, doesn't he? Isn't he around 6 foot 200?
And but he's a true slot guy, Boyd.
I thought he did both, but okay. Well, then you know what? In the NFL
he can do both, but he's mostly been a slot guy the last couple of years.
But with Corley, I don't know. And the last thing is Boy Green mentioned, moving out of that fourth round, worked out in the end, but that's where I thought for sure they were going to take Tez Walker there. And he went a little while later. I mean, not many picks. I think he went to the Ravens, didn't he?
Tez Walker went to the Ravens, yep.
God damn. I mean, of course, he went to the Ravens or the Eagles, right?
When in doubt, assume they went to the Steelers, the Ravens, the Eagles. They typically get it right, those teams.
Yeah. I mean, so, all right. Well, have a good day. And sorry about the Islanders, but, they played a damn good series.
Did they, though? That series should have been 2-2 going to Game 5. The series was lost when they blew the 3-0 lead in Game 2. That was the real problem.
I mean, they played pretty good. I mean, they gave the Hurricanes more than I thought they would. But
yeah, I still lost them 5 though. It's frustrating, but I'm rooting for you guys against the Rangers, so you'll get it done.
Yeah, that's gonna be a tough one. I think they have to get one in New York. They have to get one in New York. But the Canes have a weird thing about winning Game 1 of series on the road. So I don't know. Maybe this is their shot, But all right. Well, adios.
Rich, appreciate your time as always, my man. Shout out to everyone tuned in live right now. Hit that like button. It goes a long way. Super Chats will continue to cut the line. We are awaiting the Allen call-in as he will debate NY Jets Florida. He's been called out. Up next on the show, Johnny Boy. What's up, Johnny?
Hey, what up, Jake? Hold on.
You tell me.
I was watering my grass. Hey, first and foremost, this is awesome. You're this early in the morning. And the other thing is we need to get a sexy breakfast segment with Bobby because it makes your morning even more special.
What does that mean, a sexy breakfast segment with Bobby?
So he's like, hey, everybody, do you guys want some cream with your coffee?
Bobby, take it away.
Hey, everybody, do you want some cream coffee?
All right. Thank you, Bobby.
You got to be like, do you want 2 cubes of sugar in your coffee, stirred or shaken?
It's getting a little weird, Johnny. It's getting a little weird right now.
Bro, this is awesome, man. Hey, I'm here for the Allen and New York Jets Florida debate, man. Appreciate you, bro. Dope hat, as always.
Johnny, enjoy the flowers or the plants, or whatever the hell you're doing. God. Ladies and gentlemen, you ask and you shall receive. Joining us right now, NY Jets, Florida. Joining us right now, Alan. Here we go.
Give me a second to pull over, fellas. Hey, Alan.
Don't get into an accident. I feel bad if that would happen. If Gator got into that, I wouldn't care. So that would be the problem.
I didn't hear what he said.
I said if Gator got into that accident, I wouldn't care. But you, that's a problem. So what's going on?
I gotcha. By the way, I do love the Bobby. The Bobby segments are amazing, including the Bobby jingle. Let's start with that. Hey, Alan, would you consider Ozzie Newsome a good GM?
He's a good GM, yes.
A good GM, not above average?
He's a good GM. Yeah.
Okay. Well, I would consider him probably one of the top tier GMs when he was in his heyday. Let me give you some of it. Let me give you some of it. Go ahead, Alan. Go ahead. No, go ahead.
Did Ozzie Newsome miss the playoffs the first 5 years?
I don't know. I didn't look that up, but I'm looking up his draft picks, right? Okay. I'm looking up his draft picks. 1996, he hit a home run. Jonathan Ogden, Ray Lewis. You can't do any better than that. 1997, Peter Bulware. You know who he is? He was a
yep, I remember him.
Defensive tackle. He passed on Walter Jones and Tony Gonzalez.
He did.
Okay. 1998 and 99, he drafted back-to-back corners. Dwayne Starks, Chris McAllister. Passed on Randy Moss and Alan Faneca.
Okay. Can I make 2000?
Oh, hold on. Let me just finish my list. 2000, Jamal Adams. Very good, excellent running back. 2000, another 2000 pick, Travis Taylor. Do you know what position he played? Because I didn't until I looked at it.
He was a receiver, right?
Excellent job. But he picked him at 10. So he was a bust. So my point is, of course, he went on to pick Ed Reed and Terrell Suggs and all these other players. My point is, it's no matter how good you are at drafting, it's certainly not an exact science. And you have to have luck, you have to have players that want to play, and you have to have health. So go ahead. That's my point about an excellent general manager.
Okay. How many years do you give a GM until he wins?
This is a specialized situation with the Rodgers thing, Alan. You have to admit. You have to admit. You asked me a question. You have to admit. This is a special circumstance without Aaron Rodgers. Okay? In a normal year, you probably would have cleaned house. I advocated for cleaning house, but you can't do it. What I'm saying is there's going to be hits or misses with every general manager. Well, go ahead. Go ahead.
The question I had yesterday with Muppy was I brought up if they went 8-9 this year, should both go? And I said yes. And he said no. So I listened to him and I listened to Dre. Hold on, I hear the echo. Sorry. I listened to him and I listened to Dre talk about how even if they went 8-9, they'd give him another year. And that's where I have the problem. The problem being is you can't just continue to give GMs year after year after year until they make the playoffs. I mean, it's basically you're giving JD a pass for not making the playoffs. You're not giving JD a pass for picking Saleh, who I don't like as a coach. You're not giving JD a pass for screwing up a lot of free agents. I mean, a lot of his high-priced free agents have not worked. That's where I have the issue. Okay. Bottom line, I want them to win. I want them to win. You can't continue to give a GM year after year a pass for not making the playoffs. That was the question yesterday on Jake's chat. Do you basically separate one from the other? I can't do so because this is year 5. I'll give that first year a pass. This is year 5 of JD. You can't give them another year if they don't make the playoffs. So if Aaron Rodgers gets hurt, let me say he gets hurt week 4, okay, and they go 8-9, are people going to give him another pass? This is an opportunity for him to make the playoffs. It's do or die. It's in or you're gone. That's where I have the problem with a lot of these JD truthers who basically go back to that 2022 draft and talk about their top 4 picks and say that that is where he should stay the whole time.
I thought you said something related to the fact that JD's not a good GM.
I think JD is an average GM. I also
Okay.
have a problem where people are like, oh, if JD got fired tomorrow, he would get a GM job right away. I don't think he would. You have to.
I do.
Okay,
I do.
I don't think he would get a job right away. I think he'd have to go back into the player personnel department maybe for a couple. I do. You got to win in this.
Okay.
League.
I understand.
So that's where I have a problem with Luppy. And that's why I brought up the 8 and 9 this year. If you go 8 and 9, you can't separate one from the other. I don't like Salah much more than I think that JD is an average GM, but you cannot separate one from the other. It just doesn't make sense. So that's where I have the problem with a lot of these JD truthers who thinks he should rest on his laurels based on his 2022 first 4 picks. You have to win games. I don't understand the idea, and Dre has mentioned this, and this will be my last point. Dre has mentioned, oh, he gets a pass, or GMs are only judged based on their draft picks or their player personnel. No, you're judged based on wins and losses. You have to win games. You cannot lose games and continue to survive year after year after year after year. That's where I have a problem.
Alan, you name me a team. Okay. There are certain teams that would not win regardless. Like if your starting quarterback got hurt for the year, you telling me that a backup's going to lead him to a championship?
I had a problem last year, and Jake brought this up. You could not have Aaron Rodgers last year backed up by Zach Wilson. They needed to bring in a real backup quarterback. I thought they could have made the playoffs last year with a real backup quarterback. He basically said, you know what? We'll rest our hands in the arm of Zach Wilson. That's where I had a major problem with JD. He thought that Zach Wilson could bring him to the promised land after Aaron got hurt. So,
let me say this. I agree with that point, except I have a feeling that Woody might have been involved in that kind of decision making, maybe a PR thing, because of the fact that, yeah, I think it may have been, maybe it may have gone above JD's head, or possibly, and supposedly he's a great kid. Maybe Woody's the type that said, "Hey man, our season's lost. I love this kid. Maybe he's shown flashes. Maybe he had a say in it. I'm not sure. That's my speculation."
You guys are
anyway,
nice to each other. Where are the fireworks? I was waiting for some fireworks here.
My final point, because I think this is the question I have for you, and I asked this.
Facts.
Okay, 8 and 9 this year. If they go 8 and 9 this year, you both go.
I would say probably. Okay, well, let me say this. Are you talking? Wait, Alan. Are you talking about if Rodgers is healthy the whole year?
We lost Alan.
Sorry, Jake. I'm sorry. I'm not the type to be like a yeller and a I'm that's not me. So I'm sorry I didn't have the fireworks and the yelling and the cursing.
And why? Hopefully next time you bring it. That was too civil. All right. I like when people scream at each other. I want the alarms to go off. All right. That was too buddy. All right. I hate when people respect one another. All right. Make it personal. Attack one another. I'm just kidding. But I mean, I see the points on both sides. I lean more with Alan from this standpoint. If they go 8 and 9, I'm not giving Joe Douglas a pass for that. The one scenario where I would say Douglas could survive and actually get to pick another coach is the scenario I outlined earlier. They win the AFC East, hypothetically. They flame out in the wild card round as an AFC East champion. And it's like, clearly they need a coach to get to the next level because the talent's there. But I think just saying JD's record is lazy, like what Gary does. Oh, you guys think JD's the greatest GM ever? Look at his record. No one's saying his record's good, but there's context to it. The record's the record because of the Zach Wilson pick more than anything. And I throw out the first 2 years. He doesn't get credit for 7 and 9. It wasn't his team. 2 and 14 was a tanking year with Adam Gase, without his quarterback. with a coach that's one of the worst ever. You typically get 3 years, right? So he's now in year 4 with Salah because year 3 was a giant mulligan because Rodgers got hurt in the opening drive. Unfortunately. If you're tuned in live right now, hit the like button. Appreciate everyone who's watching a little bit earlier of a show than normal for me. Lenny writes in, love the early morning show. Gary and Alan pissing people off like usual. We haven't heard from Gary. Maybe it's too early for him. Tony DeFilippo says, Jake, we need a Jake Asman tailgate party at Jet Life during the season. Nothing like a boozed up fan base to inspire the team. You're going to be getting one, Tony. L5 is the place to be before Jet games. More calls right now. Ladies and gentlemen, joining us on the line is our offensive coordinator, Edward Ziff. What's up, Edward? Edward, tough to hear you.
Hold on. Okay, yeah. Had the microphone up. Yeah, I was talking to Paul this morning, and we were starting to talk about general managers. And I was saying, you know, if we don't win this year, I'm not putting that on JD. I'm putting that on Salah. 100%. So,
well, I mean, so like if they go 8-9, you're bringing everyone back in the front office?
No, yeah, front office. I'm bringing, and I'm letting Salah go because Salah is the one who's coaching these teams. Remember, Parcells used to say he likes to go to the grocery store when he's making his team. You know, he wanted to pick the players. Well, how the heck do you expect? You know, this whole thing is just ridiculous. If this guy can't coach him up with the quality, then he's got to go.
I mean, Douglas hired the head coach.
Yeah, so that's why they put erases on pencils.
So you trust him to then hire another coach when that was his choice? He missed on quarterback. He missed on coach. He gets to then do it again because they missed the playoffs.
Everybody misses on quarterback.
Okay, but then he also missed on coach, and then with Rodgers, they went 8-9 and missed the playoffs. So then you're going to need a coach, a quarterback. This GM would have been here for 5 full seasons. He gets to pick another or both. That doesn't make any sense to me.
I don't know. I'm a truck driver. I'm not a GM, you know.
You look like an offensive coordinator, Edward.
That's because you got to wear a headset or you got a $2,500 fine.
That's right. Hey, Kate, repeat after me, Edward. I write flex 63 Spider 2Y banana.
I told you the last time my brain doesn't process at that speed. That's why I'm not an NFL quarterback either.
My man. Ladies and gentlemen, the great Edward Ziff checking in, doing his thing. Love it. Love it. Hit the like button for Edward's call right there. Tremendous. As good as it gets. Comments, questions, super chats will cut the line. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Bonesy up next on the hotline. What's up, Bones?
Jake, my brother. You ready for tonight?
Are you ready to defend Joey Three Legs?
Yeah, I am ready to defend Joey. Here, I'll fix it. There you go. Hey, you still there? Sorry, man.
Yeah.
Trying to do this dad stuff too at the same time. So, one thing I'll say that we know this makes us this situation differently. Hold on one sec. You know what? Can I pop back in?
The show's gonna end soon.
Oh, okay. Well,
go be a dad. It's okay. Your jet take will wait for another day. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Bonesy. Family man. One of the all-time greats. First State Jet says, evaluating GMs once the games are played is very difficult. All you can do is put the team in position for success. Yes, but he picked the coach. He picked the quarterback. If they go 8-9 and Rodgers plays, what are we doing here? And I'm a Douglas guy, but come on. Let's see if Bonesy's ready for another call here. Bonesy?
Yeah, I think I'm good. So there's a unique situation that we have going on, and it's Aaron Rodgers. So that changes everything. I could see, like, I'm with you guys. If we suck again this year and there's no injuries, even with injuries, things have to change. We can't keep losing and keep giving people chances. But say the offense is thriving and Salah falls on his face and the defense isn't the same, and it's like feels like a different team because Rodgers is giving us fourth quarter leads and Salah's not coaching and he's blowing it at the end, and say, I'm just throwing out only chance he could survive, Joe Douglas. Like, we're 10-6 and Salah, definitely cost us the game. The defense is ranked 12 to 15. It's not the same as it's been. I could see, and Rodgers wants to come back and he wants to run it back. Because just like Samini said, Rodgers and JD are linked at the hip, man, so I'll get it for you. Give me 1 second. Just give me a second. So I just feel like it's a unique situation. That's why we're doing this again, because we didn't even get to see the plan through. Alan always says that 2023 free agency season was a disaster by Joe Douglas, but we got Aaron Rodgers. That's not light. That's heavy. That holds weight. He brought this Hall of Fame guy to us as he's going to be the difference that changes everything. And the fact that he didn't get to play, and you're just going to say the 2023 season was, a disaster in free agency and draft. It's like, you can't say that because a big trade happened, and that's a big part of this. And then back on the JD stuff, it's like, when you watch the last Flight 24 episode, how could you not feel good about, like, where our management and our situation is? It looks like family on there. They're like, they know what they're doing. Joe Douglas is in control. Like, he's on the clock. There's 3 minutes left, and he looks like cooler than the other side of the pillow. Like, that shit feels good, man. We haven't had people who kind of know what they're doing. So, like, as much as you want to say he's an average GM, he's in control. People like him. It's like he makes good picks. This roster's incredible. Like, you got to give him some benefit of doubt. Everybody misses on quarterbacks. How many quarterbacks this year do you think are going to hit? A miracle would be 2 out of 6. A miracle, 2 out of the 6 of these guys are what you wanted. So, as much as I am a truther, we can't completely crash and burn and JD stay. But Rodgers holds all the weight here because he's the answer to everything.
Bonesy, keep defending your guy, my man.
Let's go Knicks.
How big of a joke is this 9 p.m. kickoff tonight or tip-off tonight? You kidding me?
What are they doing? Like, I don't understand.
9 p.m. I mean, oh my God, 12 hours from now. What are we doing?
I don't know. I'm going to the mall with my wife. A late birthday. She's going shopping. I said, listen, if the Knicks win, this woman could do whatever she wants today. Please, Jesus.
Famous last words from Mr. Bonesy, everybody. The great Mr. Bonesy. If the Knicks lose, here's what I would recommend Mr. Bonesy does anyway, all right? We had Boy Green on for the first 30 minutes of today's show. I feel like you got to go full Boy Green after the Jets debacle against the Chargers.
So we're going to get into all of it here. Again, my name is Paul Eston Jr., a.k.a. Boy Green. I'm the New York Jets digital reporter for Heavy.com. We come 2 hours after every final whistle here for the post-game show. And I'm going to be honest. The only good thing that happened to me late tonight, early this morning, was making sweet, passionate love to my fiance, which I did after the article was written and that kind of stuff. That's the only good thing that happened. Not great. Terrible.
Not great. Terrible. Gets me every time. Couple super chats here. Ladies and gentlemen, Maurice checks in with his Asmaniac super chat of the month. No comment. Just wanted to say I love the show. Really enjoyed all the regulars who call in. Go Jets. Love that. Thank you, Maurice. We have the best callers. K&D writes in. My G. Jake Bonesy. My guys. Hell yeah. K&D. Boom. Love that. Absolutely love it. Thank you all for your incredible support. Normally, I'd stay on and take all the calls, but unfortunately, the reason why we're starting early is I have a work event I got to get to, so I have to, unfortunately, wrap up the show. The plan's to go live in the afternoon, late afternoon today, with Andrew Fialco doing a film review on Malachi Corley and talking more about the Jets draft class. So be on the lookout for that. If you want bonus content, the recap of Vegas, behind-the-scenes footage has been up for a couple days on the Jake Asman Patreon channel. So check that out. Once again, I want to thank all of you for your incredible support. My name is Jake Asman. This has been the Jake Asman Show. Thanks again for being tuned in. Thanks again to Boy Green, who joined our show. And I will talk to you guys soon. JETS, 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 Jets.